Hey folks, here for another installment. With Edgar Froese, founder and the longtime leader of the group Tangerine Dream, recently passing away, I thought it was very appropriate for me to show my Tangerine Dream. After all, they were probably one of my favorite electronic, progressive, psychedelic bands, since I discovered them. I got with me here, I grabbed up, I was curious to see the order that I bought these Tangerine Dream albums. I discovered Tangerine Dream kind of by accident. I just, I knew, I had a hot lead, and I knew I was in the right ballpark as to groups from the information I got after describing music I had heard on a PBS documentary. And the record store owner said, "It sounds like you're describing Tangerine Dream. All I can say is start buying up their albums and you're probably going to run across that track." I had told him the track was pretty long because in segments that were 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes, it always come back and the music was still playing, so I knew it was a very long song. Turned out it was Rubicon. I don't remember if it was Rubicon Part 1 or Part 2, but the documentary was about the fiber optics in the 70s, that they had created really small fiber optic lenses and kind of like a little cable to feed into the human body to help the doctors see where obstructions were and you could, well, I won't get into that, but anyway, in the background their music was playing and it fit the documentary just perfectly. And I loved the music, and I thought, I have absolutely got to get my hands, figure out who this group is. Same with Jean-Michel Jarre of France, his Oxygen. When I heard that on a PBS TV show playing in the background, grabbed up all his, stuff. But this is my very first entries with my old Royal typewriter when I began collecting records seriously. Now I had, been collecting records ever since the 60s. Probably 65 is when I got my first record. And then in about maybe 75, but I, really didn't get, started until I started typing off all this stuff here. And I have my entries here of the very first records I got. And I knew Tangerine Dream was in here, and I was curious as to what order that I bought them in while trying to discover and figure out what I had heard on that PBS show. And here I got, let's see, Walter Carlos, A Clockwork Orange was my very first entry here, 1972. And this was, I think, a Columbia Masterworks issue that came after. It was additional music to the soundtrack. I found the actual soundtrack with Malcolm McDowell, that pyramid artwork on the front. But this was a different album with different artwork, and it was the only one that had time steps, a 13-minute masterpiece on there by Walter Carlos before he became Wendy Carlos. And let's see, Cosmos, the TV series. So, I was already into, I was thinking, spacey trips. Alan Parsons projects in here, lots of Vangelis. Okay. I exhausted Vangelis. No, it's not him. I guess it's, and then I have Synergy in here, Rush, Kraftwerk. Oh, here it is. Okay. Page 2. And, yeah, Force Majeure. I think what I was doing when the guy at the counter had told me, I think, first of all, he said Vangelis. That's why my early entries were Vangelis. He said, and he named off a bunch of these really popular, prolific, commercial, groups of that time. I think he named off maybe 3 or 4 of them, and Vangelis was one, Tangerine Dream was one, Synergy was another one, and I think Tomita was another one. These 4 big groups are all up toward the front. So I was just going through buying them. No, that's not the one. But here, 1979 Force Majeure. And then my second album by Tangerine Dream was Tangram. I think I was judging by the artwork and maybe the song titles, what it sounded like, and you know how we do when we go in the stores and we're thinking that maybe the artwork or the song length or the instruments used or the time period from when we saw it, kind of matches up. And then my third entry was Stratosphere, then Ricochet, then Phaedra, then Cyclone. Oh, I love Cyclone. 1982's White Eagle, Sorcerer, Zeit, Logos Live, Exit. These are the orders in which I bought the Tangerine Dream albums. Let's see, Hyperborea, Alpha Centauri, Autumn. 2 albums there that came together in a reissue pack from 1976. But anyway, I'll get on with the records here, but that just shows you. Turned out that the music, was from Rubicon, and that is just a classic album. For the longest time, that album remained my all-time favorite of Tangerine Dream. But I really like all their stuff from '69, or the first actual record release in early '70 of meditation, electronic meditation, and then up to about their last of the analog years, '82 with Logos Live and perhaps Hyperborea, and White Eagle, White Eagle. And then I think Hyperborea from '83, they got into the digital sound. And their sound thereafter wasn't as warm as the analog, and just didn't appeal to me as much after their analog years up to about 1982. But we'll start off here with Edgar Froese. And I'm just going to kind of whip through these pretty fast. A lot of them are all sealed up, and it would take forever to, I just don't have that time to do that. This is Aqua. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Dreamy. The music in here is evocative of water. Splashing, bubbling, gurgling. Excellent psychedelic trip. Beautiful gatefold cover on there. This is an Italian Horizont press. What's playing now in the background real lightly is Epsilon in Malaysian Pale. This is a masterpiece. Absolute absolutely atmospheric beauty. It's like a jungle journey on a train ride through a deep, dense forest. And their synthesizers, you know, emulate the sound of forest creatures. And you can kind of hear the train kind of, you know, going over the tracks. Just a beautiful, beautiful album there. And of course, the Horizont reissue. Let's see, Macula Transfer. Another excellent piece here. Basically, Edgar Froese, I think, all the songs are named after jetliner flights that he took. Qantas 611 or, you know, whatever. And they evoke just a traveling, a journey. Here is Ages from 1978. This has Metropolis, inspired by Fritz Lang's movie, Era of the Slaves, Tropic of Capricorn, Nights of Automatic Women, Icarus, Children's Deeper Study, Ode to Granny A, Pizarro and Atahualpa, Golgotha, and The Circle Closes. Yeah, another fantastic piece. If you have these albums, some of them I can't open the gatefold, but Edgar and his wife Monique Froese, they had a son, Jerome, who was born in 1970 or 71. And Monique and Edgar both were aspiring artists. Edgar Froese had met Salvador Dali, and they do the painting and the photos of all the outer and inner, you know, gatefolds and the covers of their albums, and they always incorporated many times teeny tiny little photos of Jerome as a little baby as he was growing up. And I think one features basically the whole fold open cover has him standing there with a feather and a hat on. But I thought that was kind of interesting. Aqua is from 74, Epsilon and Malaysian Pale is from 75, Macula Transfer 76, then there was a year skip there, 78, and then this was from 79. This is a compilation, Electronic Dreams, and on side one it features Panorphilia and Upland, which are two songs from Aqua. Side two has Maroubra Bay, 17 minutes 15 seconds. Great album. Stuntman. Yeah, this has Stuntman, It Would Be Like Samoa, Detroit Snack Bar Dreamer, Drunken Mozart in the Desert, a Dali-esque sleep fuse. Love his song titles. Scarlet Score for Mescalero. That's from 79. Here's a soundtrack from the movie Kamikaze 1989. This is 1982 when this was released. Piece on here that grabbed my ear was I think, what was it, Police Therapy Center or Police Disco, one of those pieces, kind of a cool disco dance piece. Here's Pinnacles. Okay, it was Edgar Froese. Yeah, 1983. Pinnacles, great album here. Specific Gravity of Smile, The Light Cone, Walkabout, and Pinnacles. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, when Edgar got his group together, it was him and who else? Klaus Schultz and Konrad Schnitzler. And then those guys left after this album, and then Christopher Franke joined him, and Peter Bowman in 71. And in 1976, Peter Bowman, while he was still a member of the band, before he left, I think he exited in late 77, early 78. But Peter Bowman put out one of my favorite albums of his output anyway. It was the first of his output, called Romance 76. And he captures that Tangerine Dream sound of that 76, 77 period. It even sounds like, a little bit of 75 in there. But the piece on here I really like is on side 2, takes up the whole of side 2. Meadow of Infinity, part 1, which transitions smoothly into the Glass Bridge, and then Meadow of Infinity, part 2. On side 1 is Bicentennial Present, Romance, and Phase by Phase. But yeah, this is a great album. Okay, now we start off with their very first release, Electronic Meditation from 70. I love this album. Hold on, I'll flip the record over. Sorry about that. This is very raw, very kind of a primitive, edgy sound. You got Genesis, Journey Through a Burning Brain, Cold Smoke, and Ashes to Ashes, and Resurrection. Wonderful. Incredible. I love it. Love it. Nothing like the stuff that came thereafter. And I got a second copy there that's still sealed. I've never opened it. These were both from Capers Corner. And then another masterpiece, Alpha Centauri. Incredible. My gosh. Now this one I have it in a old-fashioned poly sleeve I can slide out. It's on the OR label, OMM 556. Now, the first presses were OR OMM 56.012 or whatever. The reissues were OMM 55. They added an extra 5 to it. That's how you distinguish if yours is a first press or not. But yeah, great artwork there. I love it. I love that personal touch when the artist that makes the music does his own paintings and his own photography. Yeah, that's great. Here's a inner here. And I love the OR label. OR means ear. Sunrise in the third system. Fly and collision of the Comus Sola. Alpha Centauri. Yeah. Awesome. This is 71. All this music is very, very ethereal, atmospheric, psych, electronic, cosmic, travel music to travel in your mind. It's just incredible. All of it is highly recommended. I flipped the record over of Epsilon and Malaysian Pale, and now what's playing in the background is Maroubra Bay. Zeit, meaning time, on ore. Yeah, this is the first press. It's got a little, where is it there? Yeah, 5/6. I'll go ahead and take this out. It's the only one. I've got doubles of some of these, but yeah, I think I'll take these flaps off to where I can just, get it, access the record very quickly. I'm not too crazy about these sealable, but now right here on the bottom, let's see, right there, that little bitty dot there, if you have this copy, there's Jerome Froese. There he is there in that landscape. Looks like he's got, it looks like it's probably fall or winter, and he's got a little hat on and he's holding his hands up in the air. Yeah, this has first movement, Birth of the Liquid Pleiades, and then second movement, Nebulous Dawn. Yeah, 20 minutes and 18 minutes, and then side 3. Third movement, Origin of Supernatural Probabilities, 20 minutes, 12 seconds. Side 4, fourth movement, Zeit, 17 minutes, 43 seconds. Under the supervision of Rolf Ulrich Kaiser. Of course, he formed the Pills and the Ore and the Cosmic Music labels. Yep. Photos by Monique, or Monica, I think it's Monique. Sleeve design and cover painting by Edgar Froese. Yeah. Basically, most of these albums you will hear Chris Frank on VCS3 synthesizers, cymbals, keyboard, Edgar Froese on Gliss guitar and generator, Peter Bowman on VCS3 synthesizer, organ, and vibraphone. Guests on this album are Steve Schroeder on organ, Florian Fricke of Popol Vuh is on the, he bought his big Moog, and he's on Moog synthesizer on the song Birth of the Liquid Pleiades. You got Christian Valbracht on cello, Joachim von Grumkau on cello, Hans Joachim Brunn on cello, and Johannes Lucke on cello. Very brooding psychedelic journey on this one. And then a reissue. I think this is from about, 76 reissue. Zeit there was from 72. Got this one at Capers Corner. It just slightly moved the text around on these reissues on the inner sleeve there. Now the reissues on Virgin here, they had the green and then the red label for side 2. Autumn from 73. That means breath. Another beautiful cover. One of my favorites there. And this is on OR, OMM 556031. The inner sleeve. Near mint. And the label. Yeah, the songs on here are side 1 is Autumn, 20 minutes 25 seconds. Side 2 has Faunigena, 10 minutes 43 seconds. Circulation of Events, feels like you're in a heat wave on that song. 5 minutes 49 seconds. And then Juan, 4 minutes 31 seconds. Let's see here, Edgar Froese, mellotron. Every instrument, all my favorite instruments are featured on here. Mellotron, guitar, organ, voice, yeah, just great stuff here. Recorded December 72 through January 73 on that one. And then an Italian PDU reissue from 75, I think. PDU did all their reissues 74 through 76 on these early 70s. And then we got Phaedra, kind of a foily cover there. More artwork by Edgar. This one is, I think it's some of these are UK presses and some of them are Virgin International domestics. Yeah, this was the UK version here. Mysterious semblance at the strand of nightmares, movements of a visionary, and sequent C. And then Phaedra takes up the whole of side A. Great song titles there, aren't they? And here is a Virgin International. Now the Virgin Internationals, they always had the tan label with the red and black text print. Let you see what the inner sleeve on this one looks like. Beautiful, love it. Very underwater look to it, doesn't it? Now right here, you can see Jerome, his face coming up through the water or the painting there. Rubicon. Yeah, this is a very beautiful piece here. Just one extended piece broken up into two parts over the two sides. Yeah. Capers Corner there. Even back in the 70s, 80s, early 80s, these weren't cheap. Yeah. Okay. I'll go ahead and slide this one so you can see the inner. There we go. That's the inner art for Rubicon. And here is Jerome. His hair's getting long there. Looks like he's maybe 3 years old. Right there. You have to look hard. And this is another great album, Ricochet, from '75. Rubicon was recorded in '74, released in '75. And this was recorded, put out the same year, I think, '75. This is a live album, recorded live in the autumn of '75 in France and Britain. Okay. It's just Ricochet parts 1 and 2. There's the guys. Edgar, Chris Franke, and Peter Bowman there on the right. Now here's the record that was released in '76, a compilation where it's a 2-record set, and Alpha Centauri and Atom are both on this one album here. You got the artwork for Alpha Centauri on the front cover, and the artwork for Atom on the back cover. And then Stratosphere. Fantastic album here. Stratosphere, The Big Sleep in Search of Hades, 3 a.m. at the Border of the Marsh from Okefenokee, and Invisible Limits from 1976. Let's see, this is a New Zealand, Auckland, New Zealand pressing here. But of course, the same colors there. And the Auckland, New Zealand pressing of this one is has a nice sheen to it. Looks like it could be laminated, and it's in a thinner stock paper. And it's the non-gatefold. This is the gatefold version of the, yeah, this is Virgin International. Curious to see what the inner less glare there. Beautiful cover. Love that cover. Okay. Stylized T and a D with a photo in the center there. And then there's Jerome on the bottom right there. This is a great album, Encore, live, 2-record set. It's got on side 1 Cherokee Lane and Monolight, and then record 2 is Coldwater Canyon and Desert Dream. Desert Dream, wow, check out Desert Dream. Fantastic piece. Here's a back cover from '77. And then another great soundtrack, Sorcerer, from '77. All the music they put on this soundtrack goes together very well, and it fits the film perfectly. This is a UK press on MCL 1646. Cyclone. A lot of people didn't like this because for the very first time, the guys in the group thought, yeah, why don't we add some vocals to the music instead, so it's not all just instrumental. And who was it that joined them for the vocals on here? Steve Joliffe, Klaus Krieger. I'm not sure. The print here is real small. I won't waste too much time here. But anyway, I thought the vocals worked. I thought they worked. And they're not the greatest vocals, but it works, and surprisingly, it fits the music. And I really honestly wouldn't have it any other way. There's not constant, singing, but it's just balanced. This is a fantastic album. I love the atmosphere on here. The songs are just great. Just great. This ranks way high, even though it's from '78. Great album there. I can easily slide this out. Okay, yeah, there's the two different guys that joined him here after Peter Bowman left. Steve Joliffe and Klaus Krieger. Edgar there, right there, and Chris Frank. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. And then up in the corner there of is Jerome. Got a little cap on and a blue shirt. And let's see, this is the Virgin International press. Yeah, a lot of these had the Jim Records import, Jim Distributors, South Plainfield, New Jersey, Reseda, California sticker on the cover there. This is a great album. Fantastic. Love this one too. Force Majeure from '79. Check this one out too. If you're getting into the more modern sound, the less trippy stuff, the more energetic, vibrant, upbeat stuff, this would probably be your best introduction to that middle period sound of theirs to get you, introduced to the group, and then go forward or backwards, depending on your taste. Yeah, this is '79. This is the UK press. You got Force Majeure on side 1, 18 minutes, 18 seconds. Cloudburst Flight, 7 minutes, 21. Through Metamorphic Rocks, 14:15 running time on that one. And then Virgin International. I'll re-situate this. There we go. And then we got Tangram, 1980. This is very close in sound to Force Majeure, where their sound started to change just a little bit. A lot more bright, fiery, dazzling, in their sound versus the slower, deeper cosmic trips. And then Virgin International here on this one. Domestic press. Song titles on this are Tangram Set Number 1 and Tangram Set Number 2. Both songs run about 20 minutes. And this is a great box set. I held off on getting this toward the end because it was, so pricey. And I wasn't sure if I was wanting to get it or not, I remember originally. because, of course, it's just, all the stuff you've already got, but it was a novel idea. I was thinking by this time, yeah, I think I'm going to be a completist for this group. Their music's, worth it. So I went ahead and got this. I think it was originally, what was it? What did I pay for this? And this was back in the early 80s. Maybe 50 bucks, $49.99. Yeah, very pricey. It's mastered and pressed by Nimbus Records for maximum fidelity. And the catalog number on here is V Box 2. Previously unreleased material plus a 28-page full-color booklet. Tangerine Dream, 70/80. Very heavy box set here. 4 records. Got a huge, colorful booklet here. Just loaded. This came out in 1980. Let's see if I can. So many photographs in there of all their travels. They traveled to the United States, went to Australia. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see here. Okay. Got your typical virgin green and red labels there. Made in Great Britain. 4 records. Covers all their music from 70 to 80. One thing I like about this one, let me think here. Okay, while I've got this out, I knew there was something I was wanting to tell you about this one. On one of these records, it's got never before released songs by some of the band members here. Oh, here it is. Okay. Record 3, Side 6. Edgar Froese, kind of like Pink Floyd did with the different members of the band and the main instruments they play. They basically created one song new for this release here. And Edgar Froese put out Barrel, Barryll Blue, 7 minutes, over 7 minutes, and then my 2 favorites were by Chris Frank and Peter Bowman. Chimes and Chains is a really cool piece that you can't hear anywhere else, only on this box set. Chimes and Chains is a great song. And then Haunted Heights by Peter Bowman. The sound on this is very similar to his Romance 76. Yeah. Love those 3 songs by the 3 members there. I think Emerson, Lake and Palmer even did that with the different members. Kind of focusing on the instruments they play, did their own songwriting, all that jazz. Okay, and then from Germany, from East Germany, this is a 1980 issue on Amiga 855819, and it's Quixote, Quixo, not sure how to pronounce that, part 1 and 2. Yeah, cool cover there. Vangelis had a plug-in cord for headphones on his Spiral album. plugged into an orange. And then Exit. This is the first album cover artwork. Has a poster inside. This is still sealed. And then a little bit different covered artwork. I think this was the second issue where they changed the artwork, and then the guys are on the back. Johannes joined Chris Frank and Edgar Froese there, you know, after Peter Bowman left. This is a great album too. And I love these song titles. Q Mission, Pilots of Purple Twilight, Coranzon, Exit, Network 23, Remote Viewing. Thief from 81. Exit there was from 81. This is a soundtrack with starring James Caan. Yeah, this is something that should appeal also if you're wanting to get into their mid to late period sound. The songs are more energetic, fiery, a lot of guitar work, more rocking songs on here. Beach Theme, Dr. Destructo, Diamond Diary, Burning Bar, Scrapyard, Trap Feeling, Igneous, and Confrontation. White Eagle. Here's where they start to get into that their digital sound. Very sharp and piercing synth sounds on here, to deep, deep, throaty moogs. Great, great album here. The song I like on this one is Mojave Plan, 19 minutes 55 seconds. Fantastic song. Midnight in Tula, Convention of the 24, and then White Eagle. Good album. Here's another later Tangerine Dream standout. I love the sound on this one. This is live, but the sound quality is really great for a live album. You can hear the crowds cheering in the background, although they don't encroach upon the enjoyment of the music too much. Just at the beginning and the very end, they're very polite and courteous. Fantastic album here. Incredible. This ranks way, way, way high on my all-time favorite Tangerine Dream albums. The music on here is stuff you don't get to hear anywhere else. Very unique unto this album. You got Logos Part 1 and Logos Part 2, which go through many, it evolves into many changes or progressions in the composition itself, to where it sounds like you're listening to 3, 4, 5, 6 different songs. But they do a fantastic job at melding all these shifts in the compositions they write. They're masters of it. Here's Hyperborea. Now we're really into that full-blown digital sound. And this is where my interest starts to wane just a bit, from that earlier output of theirs. Wavelength, 1983. Saw this in the movie theaters and liked the music. And then I realized, oh my gosh, it's by Tangerine Dream. Gotta get the album, yeah. It features one of the actors or actresses in here is Cherie, one of the twin sisters. There was, Cherie and Marie Curie, the bad girls of that kind of a punk angst rock that were a member of Joan Jett and the Blackhearts was in there. The Runaways. And then Cherie and Marie Curie did an album called Messin' with the Boys in '79. Yeah, she's the actress in this movie. She's right there. And then pictured right there. Yeah, very interesting movie. Poland, another good album. This is the Warsaw Concert. From, let's see, Wavelength was from '83. I'm thinking this is from '83 as well. Nice 2-record set. Still in the original shrink, as most of these are. Firestarter. Now, the music in Firestarter isn't to my taste all the way through, but it's got some nice standout songs on here. Crystal Voice, Charlie the Kid, yeah. Starred Drew Barrymore. I think she was born February of '75. So if this is '84, yeah, she's just a little kind of in that. I think this was right after she did E.T. Flashpoint from '84 soundtrack. La Park from '84, '85, 80. I think this is '84. Nope, '85. Recorded and mixed January, February 1985 in Berlin, Vienna, and London. This has the song Tiergarten, which they played a video of on New Visions, VH1 New Visions back in the '80s. And I think it had a train on there in the video. And then La Park, I believe. Yeah, La Park, which this is titled after, was from the TV series Street Hawk. La Park's a great song. Heartbreakers. I never saw the movie, but some of the songs on here, about half of them I like. Let's see. I can't think of which is my favorite piece on here. Perhaps Twilight Painter. Twilight Painter. Kind of a nightclub, electronic, a little bit of a disco sound to it. In the Beginning, a box set here from '85, 6-record set, basically a rehash of what they did on their first box set, you know, all the stuff up to this point. And this also included their lost album from 1973, Green Desert. So you've got Electronic Meditation, Alpha Centauri, Zeit, Autumn, and Green Desert on this one. This is number 742 on Relativity Records. Great artwork there. There's Konrad Schnitzler and Klaus Schulze standing there, and then Edgar Froese in the first incarnation of Tangerine Dream from '69 to '70. This is basically a kind of a black and white booklet here. And the inner sleeves basically look like the album covers, but in black and white. And they're on the black Relativity label. This is EMC 8066 is the catalog number and prefix on this issue, this set. And then we have a 3-record set with a trifold cover. This is Dream Sequence from '85 on Virgin Records Limited. See, this is on 302-686-435. And there's a few pieces on here that weren't available on any of their other albums. This is a very good listen too. We're worth your money on that one there. And here's Pergamon live at the Place de Republique, GDR. And this is a reissue of Chicote, Part 1 and 2. And this is from '85, I believe. Nope, this is from '86. Chicote was recorded originally in East Berlin on January 31st, 1980. And this is on Carol Records, CAROL 1333. Those Virgin gals there in the graphic. And we're getting toward the end here. I'm taking my time on this one. Here's Tangerine Dream's Great Lost Album, circa 1973, now available for the first time on vinyl. 88561-8072-1. This isn't too bad. Has a lot of guitar work on this one. The music is more simple, a little bit more commercial, less creative perhaps, less inspired sounding for some odd reason, to my ears anyway. More simplistic, a little bit of a mid to late 80s Pink Floyd type of sound, you know, going on there. And then Jive Electro, In the Beginning. This is basically a reissue on Jive Electro of the one I showed, the last box set I showed of with the same title. And this is from '86. 6-album set, including the previously unreleased studio LP Green Desert. This is on Tang 1. Has a lot smaller, less pages in this one. Booklet. Shows the albums that are featured in here. Has some photos of the band members. And then a story about the group and their history. There's what the label looks like. Nice label there. Kind of a cool design. Nice tight fit in these boxes. The boxes have no splits at the corners. Very tight fitting. Airtight. Next we have from 1986 on Relativity Records. EMC 8113, Underwater Sunlight. This is a great album. of their newer stuff, ranks among one of my favorites. When I first heard it, I immediately liked it. It didn't have to grow on me like some of their newer stuff. And then Tiger. Once again, they said they would never do it. Add vocals, or release an album with vocals accompanying their music, but they did, and it works. Again, it's not bad. A gal's singing in here, female vocals. Tiger. And this is from '87. Carol Records on CAROL 1341 issue. So I'll show the Carol label. There they are. Okay, Paul Hasslinger has joined the group now after Johannes Schmoling exited in the mid-'80s. There, Paul Hasslinger's on the far right there, Edgar Froese on the left, and Chris Franke. Kind of a stylized design there on the label. And then a soundtrack. I've seen this movie just once, about a year or two ago, Near Dark. Kind of a vampire, Walking Dead type of horror movie. Very scary. And this is an English press. I think it's on Silva, not Silver, but Silva Screen Records. Let's see, it's Film, FILM 026 is the catalog number on that. And then a 2-record compilation called The Collection, the Collector Series. And this has music from their earlier output. Looks like, yeah, from Electronic Meditation all the way up to Green Desert from '73. So 1969 to '73 music featured on this one. And then Live Miles, the Albuquerque concert, and the West Berlin concert. This is on Carol, CAROL 1349 from 1988. And then Optical Race. This is from 1988, and this was Tangerine Dream's debut on a new label for them, Private Music. It's got a die cut here. And a little bitty die cut right back there. And lastly, from 1989, Lily on the Beach. And I don't have anything by them on LP or vinyl after 1989. I've came very close to, what was it, they're 90 and 91, but that never panned out. This is a pretty good album too. Optical race and this one are now getting into a whole new sound that carried over till basically present time in the 2000s. They had that same sound. Well, that's it for my Tangerine Dream. Kind of winging this raw, unscripted. Hope you enjoyed. Take care, everybody.